Welcome, everyone, to Season 3, Episode 20 of the Cosme Reads. Yay! And there's much rejoicing.
It's almost old enough to drink.
It's almost about 32.
No, in America.
20.
What are you talking about?
20,
We're like
20,
episode.
21.
We're like episode like 86 now.
But Alan just said episode 20.
85. Episode 20 of the
85?
season.
20 come from?
Oh
It's
no,
the
80.
season.
Yeah. Oh, the
85.
season.
The season's almost old enough to drink in America.
No, I take off from Jump Street. Nah.
Well, in America, for religious ceremonies, you can drink at any age. It's just you can't go buy it. And
Hey, if you're in your house,
tell me
me
your
what
house,
age
you
I
can
can
drink whatever age.
Don't you get in trouble
No.
for giving alcohol to a minor?
Only
I didn't
if
say
it's in
you
public.
can't prove it. How do you prove it?
No, not for religious ceremonies either.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true because
It's
you can go to church and drink the blood of Christ and you're good.
Yeah, and you're good. You can drink that wine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
What was that episode of Family Guy? And Peter Griffin's like, "This is the blood of Christ." That guy was tanked constantly.
So good.
Oh man, that's back when I enjoyed Family Guy. Nowadays, I'm like, I'm off of it. So
Yeah.
it used to be funny.
Got it.
Well, to me,
Yeah.
it's what it is.
Sounds good. How's everything going? How are you guys?
Good.
Okay. Anything new and exciting in the world of Volando or Tree?
No.
I start classes with Cornell in 2
Ooh.
days, so we'll see how this goes.
That's
We used
exciting.
to ask the question about what people were drinking. We like completely fell off
I
on
know.
that, by the way.
Yeah.
I guess because I haven't been drinking, so I don't know.
You haven't been
Yeah.
drinking. You haven't been imbibing
I'm
lately.
sick of hearing Tree drink various flavors of bubbly.
Yeah. I'm drinking water tonight.
You drinking water? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Sorry.
Well,
Strawberry
I'm
bubbly.
having Penelope bourbon, toasted rye.
Nice.
so,
I've had that
yeah.
before. It's good stuff.
Bubbly, got to do it.
Strawberry.
Bubbly.
AKA buble. You know.
Buble.
Buble.
Mhm.
Nice.
Which this one's actually my least favorite. For
Strawberry?
anyone who's doing tree trivia later, I don't know. Strawberries. Trees.
So I got a what was the Soda Stream? I have it
Okay.
here next to my desk, and I got it because I love flavored seltzer stuff, and so I just get the little like Skittles. They actually make a flavor packet things.
Mhm.
So I get those. I mix a little bit of water, so basically it comes like a fruity, sugary slurry or whatever, and then you put the Soda Stream stuff in there, and it tastes just like having like a cool flavored, soda or something like
I
that.
want
But
one
it's
of
like
those.
it's got like no calories in it though too. So it's like it's a way to make sure I can drink my water all day long. Because
I would even just do like regular water with like a little bit of lime or lemon.
Okay.
Could be
Now I'm gonna tell
something.
you the thing that happened recently though is I had some elderflower seltzer,
Mm.
and I was like, oh, I can do that. So I got some Saint Germain and just poured like a couple tablespoons in some seltzer
Yeah.
water, and it was like amazing. Now, I mean, of course, it has alcohol in it, but it's such a low amount. It's not like gonna impact because it's only a couple tablespoons. You know what I'm saying? But
That
Yeah.
sounds yummy.
yeah, it was so freaking good, and I was like, I need to get another bottle because I just like kept having it like all the time because I just love that flavor, elderflower, elderberry.
Elderberries. We have an elderberry bush or tree in our backyard.
Oh, really?
I
No
think-
kidding.
Yeah, we might wrap it though. It's not supposed to freeze this week, but it's supposed to get pretty close. So
It's gonna get to 38 degrees.
I
38.
know. So my blueberry bush, we just planted the raspberry bush. We just planted in the elderberries.
4 degrees. Sorry, took me a second. 4 degrees, Trey. That's what the temperature should
Good.
get down to.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm not the only
Yeah.
one that has to suffer. I hope
That's-
ice
that's
rains
later
from
this
your
week.
sky too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no. So we've been dealing with the pollinating here in Virginia, which happens. It's a
Yes.
season. It's a whole season in Virginia where the pollen
Yep.
just gets
The
so bad.
pollinating.
The pollinating.
yeah, and I keep my Zyrtec on me just because I don't have like allergies, like sneezing type allergies,
Yeah.
but my eyes get so irritated with the contacts.
This
I
year-
get this thing called keratitis, so I
This
just
year
have to like
was so-
constantly take all the
It was
medication. Go
so
ahead.
so bad this year. Like yesterday, I went out to walk my backyard, and I was literally ankle deep in pollen.
Oh yeah,
Like
easily.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
and me, I like to wear
crazy.
dark. I like to wear dark colors, and so Pollen is not a fan of the dark colors. I like show everything.
It's not that bad here, but I remember last year I was in Vail, Colorado, and like a light breeze would go past like one of the pine trees, and you could like see the silhouette of the tree like blowing off into the wind of just pure yellow pollen. It was crazy.
Wow. That's insane to see the silhouette of the tree. It's so perfectly formed. Is it like
off? It was crazy. That's the worst I've ever seen. So I imagine it's like that there.
Oh yeah, every year. There's nothing you can do to avoid it. And people that aren't ready for it, I'm like, you have no idea. And there's no amount of filters on your car.
Hold on, here you go.
You're gonna share screen inside your car. I don't care what you do. You're driving. I mean, it filters to a point, but yeah, you're gonna get.
Oh no! So you guys don't have to snow blow, but you have the pollen blow.
Pollen blow.
Yep. Pollen blow.
That's obviously just a snow blower, and someone just put a yellow tinge to it.
I would rather snow any day.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
that's insane.
No, that's not real pollen.
That's not real. It's just but that's how much pollen you feel like you get here.
It feels like that sometimes.
It's a blanket. It's a caking of just particulate matter everywhere. Essentially,
lots of horny trees down there.
Oh yeah, they be getting it on like a Marvin Gaye song.
Well, it's so there's something. Someone was telling me about it that like back in the, I guess this was in the turn of the century in Southern America, like a lot of cities down here started planting a lot more male trees than female trees because the female trees, of course, fruit, and then it creates lots of mess for city workers to clean up. But then, of course, male trees pollen. If they are, some trees have male and female, like apples do, for example. Like one's the pollinator, the other one's the fruit bearing. So someone was telling me that's a lot of the reason. But of course, this is all oak pollen, so I don't think that even applies to this. But there are some other types that, for allergy reasons, that it's worse in some cities because of it.
Yeah, and then my son got the allergy test thing, and I think it was like 48 or 49. Things that he got tested for, and he tested like allergic to like 46 of them.
Oh my god, that's like what happens to me too. Like my whole arm swells up except for like a little patch in the bottom.
Yeah, I feel so bad for this dude. He's just Oh shoot, you just reminded me. He actually got a septum surgery, and I forgot to reach out to him to find out how that went.
Oh no,
my bad. So I need to make sure I follow up on that immediately after this podcast.
We'll remind you.
I will remind you.
Yep,
please and thank you.
Yeah, so besides just lots of pollen and stay inside to stay away from it, that's all I really did this weekend is stay inside and did chores around the house. So I really have nothing exciting news at all.
I don't really have much exciting either.
No.
I'm always head down focusing. Huh?
I got addicted to a new show this week.
Ooh, what show?
What's the new show?
Sense8.
Oh yeah, I've seen
either of you watched that
one? Yeah.
It's an older one, I think, like a little bit older.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's a Netflix show, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of my friends recommended it and has been bugging me to watch it. So I'm just like,
fine. It's one of those shows too that had a following, and I don't know. It was around that time that Netflix would greenlight everything, and then they would not renew
anything. Yeah.
So I think that's one of those shows that ends on a crazy cliffhanger. If I'm remembering
they promised me it was finished. So
okay.
So maybe that's one of the ones. Okay, but
there are a few though, like you said.
There was a whole bunch of them they put out, and it was the shittiest thing ever because there was like, oh yeah, you can get everything greenlit through Netflix because they were just throwing money at everything because they were trying to get away from having to syndicate all these shows.
Right.
Because it's much cheaper to make your make your own show than it is to do syndication with when it's like new people and new directors, whatever. And then there's like a whole bunch of shows, and they would like get like a season, maybe 2 seasons, and you're like, oh man, I'm really invested, and then canceled.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, come on, Netflix. I mean,
there's a really long time I refused to watch anything unless it was finished.
Absolutely, because I hate that nonsense. I'm like, don't give me an unfinished show. People always talk about Freaks and Geeks. It's a 1-season show with a cliffhanger that basically says she's gonna go off and follow some. I'm like, come on now. And just
to piss off all the geekdom, Firefly.
Well, but at least they had Serenity. So
but Serenity sucks.
it counts. Is what I'm saying.
Does it? Does it?
Counts. It counts.
It's so rushed and it's through. It's like we're just gonna wrap it up in a movie. Here you go.
It still counts. It still counts, though. I mean, whether you like the ending or don't like the ending, it's still the same actors. They didn't like change up the actors or anything.
No, they didn't. But, yeah.
So it but yeah, there's a bunch of them though out there that's like, oh come on, what happened here? Give us an ending, please.
No,
and then some shows keep getting renewed. And you're like, why is this thing getting renewed? Who even watches this?
Happens.
What's that Shonda Rhimes show that like everybody's into? It's like a period piece. It's like I can't remember the name of the show. Anyway, but that show keeps getting renewed. I guess there must be enough people watching it. It's just like super popular.
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton. Thank you. Yes, and then they made like an offshoot of Bridgerton.
I feel the same way about it. Actually, Delusions. I went to go visit her last year, and she made me binge the whole entire first season with her.
How was it? Is it good? I'm not a Shonda Rhimes fan. I feel like she does really like shocking stuff in her first few episodes. She's like, oh my gosh, like How to Get Away with Murder or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, oh man, this is shocking. I want to watch. And then I'm like, okay, now this has gone into like just ridiculous territory.
You know, a TV show like that a lot. Heroes. Do you remember NBC's Heroes?
I really liked
Heroes.
First season was fantastic.
Actually, the second season was almost okay too.
Yeah,
but they were subject to the writer's strike, so it wasn't really their fault, and that was the reason why it shat the bed. It shat the bed, unfortunately, and people loved that first season. I mean, anybody that was alive. And watching that thing,
the cheerleaders save the world, man.
Oh my gosh, you were glued. I mean, Heroes. I think it was Thursday nights. Anyway, whatever day it came on, you were glued to that TV. Yeah. It was a great superhero concept, and then a writer's strike, and then
Lost had the same problem.
Lost
had the same problem.
Lost basically had no plan of what they were going to do. They were like introducing concept.
Entire problem.
But they did have writer's strike problem too. But yes,
they did too.
But they had their own problem.
Idea. I mean, they had so many concepts. It was like polar bear shows up, and it was like, polar bear, and then the tornado. What's the tornado? And you're like,
I got all the way to the end of Lost, and then I not finished it.
Smoke fog thing.
I think I have like 6 episodes left of Lost, and I'm just like, I'm done.
I finished Lost.
That last season was.
Can't do it anymore.
Last season's rough. It's a trudgery trying to get through that thing. You're like, I gotta buck up and watch this thing.
Plus, I mean, the ending has been spoiled for years now, so I'm just like,
oh yeah.
I don't care. I'm over it.
And sometimes there's some shows you can go without watching the ending, and you might be better off. I mean, How I Met Your Mother, they shat the bed infamously. Yeah. The last season was all about one weekend, and they shat the bed. So and then they ruined the ending because they had painted themselves in the corner because they had recorded the ending years before.
Right.
So they were like, "Well, we got to stick to this thing." I was like, "No, you don't. You could be inventive, do something else because the characters had changed so much."
Yeah.
Right. You know,
you can do a new ending.
Oh, how about that? I mean, hell, or CGI that joint. I mean, they CGI everything else. CGI the kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. Be inventive or whatever. But yeah, infamously, How I Met Your Mother is still regarded as one of the worst endings in television history, supposedly. And I was watching that thing every week with my boys. That was actually our family thing. So it was me and the boys on the nights I had them. It was Monday nights. And that was our things. We would watch How I Met Your Mother. And we got really into it. That last season came around and we were like, womp, womp. Yeah.
All right. Are you ready, guys, to talk about some Stormlight Archives? Some more stuff
I guess so.
Okay.
All the references in these chapters, though, Lord have mercy. They literally say 2 words in these chapters. I was like, I didn't think they were going to happen.
Who are you talking
one
about?
is a name and one is a reference to the universe. And I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
In the obituagraphs?
No, this is actually in the story.
This is the second chapter we did. Yep, there's
so I was like, wait, did he just say what?
We'll have to point that out when we get there.
We'll talk all about that.
Oh my goodness, I was like,
he wasn't ready.
I was not ready. I was on my workout, and I know sometimes I miss some things. That thing came up, and I was like stopping pedaling. I was like, what?
Pause back. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, good times.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. So Dunny, we're gonna start with Dunny though. Chapter 53, Dunny.
Yeah.
We start with the
Dunny
bitchograph.
boy.
Yeah, we start with a bitchograph. He must pick it up. The fallen title, the tower, the crown, and the spear.
Pick it up.
Pick it up. The fallen.
The tower,
The tower, the crown,
the crown,
The
and
crown.
the spear.
And the sphere.
Mhm. Spear.
Who dat? Who dat?
Pokey pokey.
So yeah, pretty much we're on a bridge run. It's
Of course.
Kaladin is running point, and things are getting weird now. The Parshendi are like aiming at him, and they're just missing. And the Parshendi are like, "What?" Like, they are so confused, like slackjaw. Like this does. They actually stop knocking their arrows at one point. Like
Like arrows are going
No.
like,
yeah, like dodging all around. It's like, so definitely some stuff going on.
And doesn't
getting-
one like hit his cheek?
Yeah, one
Yes.
does great. Yeah.
One hits his cheek, so it's like it kind of.
but does it though?
Oh, does it though?
Mm,
Mm.
You got gaslit.
yeah. And yeah, so they've set the bridge, and Dunny stands up, and yeah, Doesn't
He had
take-
an arrow when he was
but-
trying,
but-
trying to
but
cross
it-
Oh,
the
Dunny
bridge.
boy.
Dude, the color of the arrow.
It was black, the first one.
But then he gets
And he
hit
got
by
hit
the,
with another one
but it's not black.
that was not black. That was from the other side.
Friendly
Our
fire.
side.
Friendly fire.
Yeah, so he got hit from
Yeah.
both sides. That's
And then-
rough.
And then
man.
Kaladin went to go save him, and Moash tackled him and tackled him.
Well, he was about to
Mhm.
get trampled over by
Oh, but he would've been
horses. Yeah.
Look, by the way they describe his body at the end of
I
this,
know.
that was definitely the best move for him to not be in. I mean,
True.
mm,
Moash just knew. He's going for him.
that Joker sounded like he just ended up like just
He
a
got trampled
mound
into
of
pulp.
flesh. It was like you couldn't even recognize what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's rough. Oh, Dunny boy.
Yeah.
But I was saying earlier that it wasn't as like emotional as the other ones. Like it kind of was, but also not. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. It didn't hit me as bad.
It's
Because they hadn't really been focusing on Dunny lately.
Yeah.
No. And then,
I mean,
like, the
it's
next
been a
chapter,
minute
little.
since we really been hearing a lot about
I mean,
Dunny.
he sang the songs for the campfires, and we're like, oh, he's the singer, and then
Yeah.
And
Um,
it's like every other. I mean, it's such a trope, though. If somebody like sings a song or talks about their family or whatever, that's the dude that's gonna be like, "I can't wait to go back to Brooklyn." You know?
when I get out of this, I'm gonna set up my own farm with my paw and
Oh no.
Yep. Either that or instant dysentery, something,
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Oregon Trail type stuff.
Yeah. So maybe that's it. Maybe I was just like ready
Oregon
for it to
Trail.
happen. So I just like so it didn't hit me as bad. I don't know.
Oh, I knew something was gonna happen. We started singing songs. I was like, "You're done,
Yeah,
skis. You're done,
it
skis."
does.
I'm still sad about it, but I felt like
I,
Kaladin got over it real fast.
Kaladin
Yeah,
channels
not really.
he channels it to save other people. If you can't
right.
save
I
one
feel like
person,
he
he'll
got
save
focused, but I feel like it comes back later that
He
he
didn't
kind
feel the
of.
weight behind it, like some of the other writing where Kaladin really is feeling
Mhm.
the weight of
Yeah,
the
that's a good point. That's a good way to
death,
put it.
I don't know. I'm sure it will
Yeah.
come back more. It did come back a little bit, but
Hmm.
I don't know. It just for some reason didn't hit me as hard as I thought it was gonna.
I think actually, now that you say that, it was a little callous. It was more like, oh, well, we can't have these kind of numbers, where we like lose these number of people because then it's going to have a detrimental impact on the bridge.
Right. Yeah. But he goes out and starts trying to patch up other bridge crews too. So he's in full surgeon mode, patching
Mhm.
everyone up.
Yeah. And he did do that to make himself feel better about Denny.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah.
To save other people.
Man, he's out there stitching them up and searing their skin without like any type of anesthetic or nothing. These guys are gotta. It probably sounds like a Civil War battlefield out there.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Just bite the bullet.
Yep.
Bite the-
Mm-hmm. Here comes the saw.
Someone was talking about that earlier. Like there's like an SNL skit or something like that, like from Civil War, and like the guy like has a stubbed toe, and they're like the Civil War sergeant pulls out. So I was like, no. Like, it's like, can we cut it off?
Oh no! Oh no!
Apparently, in the Civil War, that was very common. Like, they would just like cut it off. Just cut it
Get the
off.
snippers.
Cut it off. That's right.
I'll take care of
lot
that
of
ingrown nail.
amputations.
There you go. They
Hedge
were like,
clippers,
bite
that's
on
what I'm
this
thinking.
tree. That's what they would do. They would give you like a sock or a
Stick
tree
or a piece of rope.
branch,
Yeah.
a piece of
Yeah,
rope.
rope,
Yep, they would
yeah.
give you something
knobweed.
like
You can
that.
chew
Some
on this.
knobweed, right in the
Yeah,
back
and
tree.
that's where the
Okay.
term "bite the bullet" comes from. Actually,
Yeah, that was a
'cause
thing.
you put the bullet in to bite the bullet.
It'd be something hard enough where you wouldn't break it, not
break
like
your teeth.
because you could literally break your right. You could break
No, that's the
your
whole
teeth.
thing. It's so you didn't break
or
your
bite
teeth.
through your
'cause
tongue
by
or something
clenching
before
so
you-
hard that you shatter your teeth.
Shatter your
from the
teeth.
pain.
Or
Wouldn't
bite
biting
through
a
your tongue.
bullet
And you would
be
actually
Bullets back then were not as they were a lot more malleable. Because the metal wasn't as it wasn't like a metal jacket like they have today, where the brass is so strong and reinforced. Like it was like almost like tin. Like, I mean, it was lead, and lead's a very very soft metal.
So and now let's remember
Let's
they're
chew
biting
on
on lead.
Yeah,
That was the thing I was going to mention. I was like, yeah, they're biting these lead bullets.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Now they don't actually use lead bullets. Now they're actually like
Right,
steel
yeah,
casings, or they use all
Yeah,
sorts
they
of
don't
things.
use lead,
And
no.
you don't want to bite those. But lead is really really soft. But yeah, you also don't want to bite lead. But they didn't know about all that back then either.
No,
So,
no.
I
They-
love medical advancement.
no.
Yeah. Look, there's reason why so much lead paint in kids' rooms back in the day. You know, they didn't know.
I'm sure there's still so many
There's
more
still
things
lead
like that
lining
that
all
still
the
exist
freaking-
now.
There's so many water systems now that still have lead lining on the pipes and stuff. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, but it's so cost prohibitive to go
I
out
mean,
and
I've
replace it.
I've lead paint in my house. There's lead
know,
paint.
I was gonna
in my
There's a
Check that
house.
lot
out
of
for
people that
you.
have lead paint in their house. Yeah.
I'm afraid
It's,
America's gonna think I'm working.
We
so-
just paint over it. That's all we do.
Paint over it. There you go.
Just keep painting over it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's
Hopefully,
not
this
seeping
layer
out
of
or
ignorance
anything.
will help us forget it.
Yep. It's what I do with my emotions anyway. You
That's
know,
right,
so
that's right.
just
I was thinking the exact same thing, Alice.
just paint over it.
Hopefully, this drink of ignorance will help me forget my troubles.
Also- Don't try
I
to fix
forgot all
anything,
my
just
troubles
paint
now.
it.
Emotions are gone.
Yeah.
That's
And
how
now
we do.
That's what
And
we
we
do.
push down the feelings, and we push down the feelings.
That's just called adulthood.
That's called. There was something I saw today where something like that, like it was something like, "Don't cry, just drink a whole lot to bury your emotions like a real adult," or something.
That's
like
right.
That. It was some kind
That's
of meme
right.
like that. It was like,
Yeah.
"You don't cry, you just bury your emotions in alcohol like a real adult."
Mm-hmm.
Don't destroy your tear ducts. Destroy your liver
Nah.
instead.
No. Drink this for forget Rita. That'll take care of it.
That'll take care of it. Completely. Yeah, just.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the bridgemen hesitated at first to help other bridge crews because they were drained on the resources, but obviously Kaladin.
Yeah. Callan's
Yes,
like, I
they
don't
did.
care.
I
But
don't
we
care.
don't have all that money. I don't care. But we
I don't
can't
care.
feed that. I don't care.
Yeah.
We're fixing
And,
them.
yeah,
And
Kaladin
Dad
lectures,
just want me to.
lectures them on honor during all this, and they start helping them after that because they're kind of ashamed. Like they're
I
like,
did
look
like
at the
the
hype.
appreciation for his dad that he brought back, though. He's like,
Mhm.
he's the most honorable man I've ever known.
Yeah.
And he would do this, so I'm
Yep,
doing
because
it.
he took care of people that hated him.
Exactly. That was very sweet.
It was. It was. At this point, after all this, they start strapping some bridgemen onto their bridge and stuff like that to see how many they can carry. Like, we can't carry that much. They're like, well, carry as much as we can. We're just gonna try to get them all off the battlefield. And Tef comes up to Kaladin and tells him to keep all his fears inside his pouch and fuse. And Kaladin's like, why? He goes, for good luck. Just remember, for good luck. Just you need.
Yeah,
lucky.
he's definitely telegraphing that he knows something, and he's been doing that now for a few chapters.
Oh,
He's got the recognition.
Yeah. Well, we had
He's-
the chapter where we had Tef's kind of backstory where he talks about he was raised by the Envisagers, where
Right.
they had this whole
Envisagers.
religion, Envisagers, which he had this whole religion based around.
Mhm.
So
We don't know what
Yep,
Envisagers
we don't
are
know-
yet.
But he's got an awareness that he is not cluing everybody into, but he's already like setting Kaladin up for success. He's like, I need you to hold
Yeah.
on to these things.
Yeah. And he mentions, that their bridge, they haven't taken any casualties on their approaches. Now, of course, they have casualties after the battle begins, but
Which
on
is
the
what
approach-
Kaladin says quickly. He's like, do you
Yeah.
forget about Dunny?
Yeah.
Dunny boy?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's like, but that wasn't on the approach though.
That wasn't on the
Come back.
approach. He's like,
No.
aha.
Mhm. Technicality.
Technicality.
Yeah. So 4 wounded bridgemen survived during all this. So yay.
Yay.
Saving some people.
Huzzah. And they sound really grateful. Extremely grateful.
Yeah.
Did they? I don't remember them saying anything.
The first one that he was working on, that got the injury. I feel it was a bleeding injury of some sort. Anyway, he was extremely appreciative. He was
Oh.
like, yeah. I can't remember all the details, but I just remember that part specifically.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So I'm glad there's 2 of us reading these because sometimes I get distracted with something and I don't absorb.
Oh,
all the
it happens
information.
all the time. It's like there's things
Yeah.
that you brought up, and I've been like, oh, I forgot about that detail. So I agree. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
the reason why it's important that we kind of symbiotically work through, and between 2 of us, we've read the one book.
Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Tree work makes
Also,
the
words are really hard
Dream
for me
work
today.
makes the dream work. Let's do it.
Words are hard today. I'm
Word-
sorry.
words are
That's
hard.
right.
I'd
That's
like
Um,
to say I won't make any more weird words like that, but I would probably be lying.
Well, speaking of weird words, Gibbletish.
Yeah.
Can we anything from this chapter
Gibbletish.
before we move
Oh
to the
my
next
goodness.
Because this is
Yeah.
a chapter I think we're going to spend some time talking about. Some
Totally.
We have
Revelations?
some revelations. I knew you were going to say
Mhm.
that. Yep.
yeah, some revelations. So, anything else from chapter 53 from Dunny Boy before we move to chapter 54? Gibbletish.
Yeah, that's I can think.
No, just
All
Kaladin's a good boy, and he deserves head pats. And
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. Dunny.
R.I.P. Dunny boy.
R.I.P. Dunny. All right, the obituary.
Obitugraph.
is- The obitugraph there. The burdens of 9 become mine. Why must I carry the madness of them all? Oh, Almighty, release me.
Okay, that was
And that
interesting to
sound
me.
like
Who's
the-
the 9?
I felt like the 9 is the same 9 referred to at the very beginning of the book. That's my guess.
Okay, there was 9.
There
I
was-
thought I
there was
remember it
9.
being 9 at the beginning of the book, and
Yes,
I
there
was
was
like,
You're probably right.
There was 9. Yes, you are correct.
and I
There's
was
supposed to
like,
be
if this
10,
is the
right?
same 9,
But one didn't show up.
right?
So
And I
not
feel
good.
like because remember 1, because they all abandoned except
Yeah,
for the
one
one
got
that
stuck.
didn't show up, and he might be the one that's sitting there going mad because he's the last one of the 9. So this is my theory. This is me. Theory time. Theory time.
So wait, the 10th one got killed and got sent to like the essentially like hell, right? Or whatever they call it there.
Yes. I
And
don't
the
know if
other
they
ones
named the
just
planet.
continued living. They just refused to go back and then be reborn
Right.
Right.
consistently.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the 10th could still be reborn
Mhm.
technically without the other
I
ones coming
guess.
back, right?
Sure.
Mhm.
Hmm. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The 10 heralds. Yeah, 9 of them. Abandoned the Oath Pack. Because the 10th one wasn't there to abandon as well. Because he had been killed.
Right.
They're like, good enough. We'll just, we can't do all 10. We'll just, we'll leave it all to the one guy.
Maybe his consciousness is like leaking out. What was the description of the person who did the obitugraph?
Hold on. Let me go pull it up. Give me a second. It's chapter what? 53?
Yes.
54.
54.
53, 54.
Dated Palahesis 1173, unknown seconds pre-death. Subject: a wealthy light eyes. Sample collected secondhand.
If we don't know enough about these 9/10
Mhm.
to know what they look like, where they came from, what their background is, so I was like, I don't know if that would have helped me or dissuaded me or whatever.
No. But that's a very good callback.
That's all I got.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, we're at Elikar's feast. So Elikar's there, Dalinar's there. Dalinar's attending. He's kind of just sitting there, kind of off to a side by himself. And a familiar figure comes up, someone that Dalinar does not want to see. Our good boy Wit. Dalinar's like, oh, it's you. But Wit's not in the same kind of mood. He's a little bit more cryptic here.
He was cloaked. He was cloaked. He had like a hood or something on at the beginning too.
Yeah, and he comes in.
Antisocial
And
Wit.
he's not. Yeah, antisocial Wit, and he's not his normal like, making jab self. He's definitely being a little more philosophical here. And Dalinar notices and asks him questions. Asks him what his name is, which I think is one of the revelations that you're saying. And he's like,
yes, of course, because he says it was a different name that he said. I can't remember what the other name was. And he's like, "Is that your name?"
He said, "I've been called by lots of names." He said he had a different name. He said, "I've been called by lots of names. It's not my real name." He said, "You can just call me Wit."
I can't remember what the second name was he called him. And then he's like, "No, that's not my name." And then he's like, "You can call me Hoid."
Mm-hmm.
Now, hey,
Yeah.
hey.
I think that was where the Gibbletish thing came, because he mixed two words together. He's like, "You could call me Gibbletish."
Yeah.
Oh, that's
he was
right.
talking about how funny,
Gibbletish.
yeah. He was saying how funny it is that you can mash words together like Balderdash and
get gibberish.
Gibberish. And he's
Yes,
like, like just make a random word like Gibbletish.
Gibbletish, yes.
But yeah, so we get a little.
My name's Hoid.
Yeah, my name's Hoid. And we also talk about Adelysium. He does in this.
Right.
Really quickly.
That's the Stormfather, right?
That's what he says.
Right.
Okay. It was just like another name for the Stormfather.
Yeah.
Right. Another name for Stormfather.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name again?
Adelysium.
Adelysium.
But then we also hear the word Cosmere explicit. The word Cosmere explicitly said. And I was like, wait, whoa.
He's basically like, everything going on here is more important. What's going on in the Cosmere is way more important than any of this crap.
So
and he's like,
it's like, okay, well, this person has an awareness of everything. He said the word Cosmere, and I was like, stop the press. Did you just say the word Cosmere?
In the timeline of the Cosmere, Hoid was there in Mistborn Era 1, which was 500 years before this.
Right.
And
it was in Elantris.
It was in Elantris, which took place, I think, before that. It was before Mistborn. Yeah. Elantris took place before Mistborn. So he was there.
Right. And then, was he in one of the Arcanum Unbounded?
He's been in most of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he was.
He's in most of them.
Right. So, yeah, but, and I like the Cosmere reference. I was like, whoa, he said the word Cosmere. It's almost like that show they used to show back in the day where it was like you had to guess the word.
Right.
And it was like,
and I'm sure like to Dalinar, this is just Gibbletish. This is just made up stuff. Like it's like what?
This is all throwaway stuff to him. He's like, whatever.
Yeah. He's like, you have no idea.
Wit's being Wit. What a weirdo.
Yeah.
Right.
Good old Wit. Or Hoid. You can call him whatever you want at this point. So did you know that Hoid is Wit? Did you have any suspicion or were you suspect?
Oh no, I did not. And actually, this whole section, I have thought to myself, I was like, is it possible that that Hoid is replacing people? Because I wouldn't put it past him to be like, oh, I'm in this era imitating somebody else. So I'm not the real person. And the reason I only say that is because his demeanor was completely off.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, are you doing an imitation of the real Wit? And that was my theory, is that he was imitating him. And then like when Wit shows up again, he's gonna act like I don't even know what's going on. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What's up, Willis?
What you talking about, Wit?
What you talking about, Willis? Like he takes on different bodies, maybe that Hoid does.
You're right, something like that. So I don't know if he possesses the body or he like just shows up and imitates somebody, but he has enough skill or capability to imitate somebody.
Maybe
perfectly.
he's like a Khandra.
Maybe.
Ooh, could be. Condra's a thing.
He could be old enough to be a Condra.
Although it has not been confirmed on who it is. Brandon Sanderson interview has said that there is a Condra on Roshar during all this. But it's not confirmed, so I have no idea who it is, but there is a Condra.
It's white.
I think that's too easy to make it Hoyd, but
Okay.
Or did they just want you to think that it's too easy?
could be. I mean, but then it's like, look at the bones. Where are the bones? Because he had to.
But did you know that I know that you know that we know that
And I know that you know that you really want to kick it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That one.
That checks out.
Fun times. Yeah. It tracks.
Yes. Absolutely.
Good old Hoyd. But he also gives Dalinar a heads up. He's basically like, hey, Sadeas is about to announce something, and you might not want to be here.
Okay, now that part got me because I was like, now we've got two conflicting premises.
Mm-hmm.
He's been told explicitly through these visions that he needs to trust Sadeas.
Mm-hmm.
Explicitly told that, and I have stood by it in my deepest feelings about this book. I'm like, I don't feel like that's a lie, and I don't feel like it's like a trick or something. And then when Hoyd said he's about to announce something, you mean I want to be here? I was like, Hoyd, I don't know. Now I'm not know where you're at. I feel like you might not know what you think you know. So I don't know if Hoyd's as omniscient as he thinks he is.
Because they never actually said the words trust Sadeas. They just said trust him. And Dalinar's like, Sadeas? And the voice said, trust him. But it was just like repeated, but it never actually said trust Sadeas. Like Dalinar is just implanting his own information. So we don't know if that's Sadeas or not.
I guess I just based it on the timing of when it happened. But
yeah,
I mean, you're right though. It wasn't explicitly like Sadeas. It was just like trust him.
We don't know who it could be, but
okay.
I mean, what he did here was pretty nice, and seemed like a pretty good buddy thing to do. So
yeah, well, Dalinar gathers Adolin some guards just in case, and then goes to confront Sadeas, and he's like, "All right, Sadeas, go ahead and make your announcement." And Sadeas is like, "Really? You want me to do this right here, like in front of everyone? I was gonna wait till everyone's gone, but you want me to do it right now?" He's like, "Yeah, if you're gonna do it, do it." Do it right now. He's like, all right, fine. I'll make my presentation about the cut strap, and starts this whole entire very dramatic speech, about how, building suspense and everything like that. And just get to the point. Like, we ain't got time for this.
Dalinar just wants to rip off that Band-Aid.
Yeah, he does.
Which I get, but it's and everything I felt about this was the same way that Sadeas explained it, which was, I'm trying to figure out, it's not about who you're trying to exonerate. It's about trying to find the culprit. It's not about you, and now by having put like all of his like cards out on the table and saying, oh, well, you're exonerated because, the saddles were changed. There's like 8 gems that were actually like, damaged, perfectly damaged, etc. You have now, I mean, if you were going to try to follow up on a conspiracy theory, now you have put it out there in the open, which gives whoever the culprit is every possibility to cover their tracks.
Right.
And I feel like that's the short-sighted thing about this. And I was like annoyed the fact that he pushed him into it. And I was like, first of all, if it had gone south, it was going to be a terrible thing for you, your family, your cow, your guards, whatever. But no, he just had to know about it now. And I was like, that's the worst thing ever, because you're dead. You're dead regardless. I mean, I don't care whether if it's like, oh yeah, I think it was you, or if he says, whatever, you're dead regardless, unless you're exonerated. You should have just let things play out. But you got.
But you got to think about yourself, and that's what Dalinar is old.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but announces that Dalinar is an unlikely suspect. And after the announcement, Dalinar goes and catches up with Sadeas and is like, "Hey, why'd you do that?" And he's like, Well, because that's what the evidence doesn't point to you at all. Like, why wouldn't I do this? And he's like, Downer, I'm not trying to like hurt you. Like, I think you're going mad, and I think you should step down. But like, I'm not trying to also falsely accuse you of anything like that. I'm not trying to position. I'm just trying to help the kingdom. Like what? Why are you making this such a big deal? Like,
and just because he's not a personable individual does not mean he's a bad person. Like he has ulterior motives or something. I mean, yeah, maybe he is looking up. I mean, he's a very cold and calculating person. We know this based on the way he does bridge runs.
Mm-hmm.
We've, had this conversation. That's just the way his mind works. Yes, it is cold. It is calculated. It is not going to build a lot of favor with the underlings and peons of the world. But the guy is still methodical, and you just got to let that that methodology play out. And if you want to try to persuade him,
he's an asshole.
Oh, he's definitely an asshole. But again, he's a methodical asshole.
I'm an asshole. He's an asshole. I'm an asshole. So
I still don't like him.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to like him. I mean, his methods are stupid. Using humans as cannon fodder, trying to get out, these bridges out there before everybody else, the way he runs the camps and all that. I hate everything about it.
Yeah.
However, though, he doesn't do it because he's like trying to subterfuge the hierarchy that's there. He's just trying to like play into this game that he's in. He's like, this is my best way to win.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, he's the only person who agrees to Dalinar's plan.
That's true. Yeah. They're working together now, which I'm kind of excited about.
He's methodical. You got to play. You got to play that. I just got moved under a new vice president, and this guy is a straight shooter and no nonsense. I would doubt if I saw him in person. I think he probably never smiles, and that's fine with me. But he's methodical, and if you give him like a really like fleshed out plan of approach for whatever, as long as it makes a lot of sense, he's like, I'm on board. Now he's not gonna be excited about it, but he'll be like, I'm on board. Yeah. And I feel like that's the way Sadeas is, so
I'm excited for the potential crossovers now.
Yeah.
Downer
pitches the idea of the joint the joint plateau assault, and at first Sadeas is like, I don't even field my whole army as it is. Like, why would I need another army? Like, and Downer makes the pitch that like, hey, we have strengths within our armies that are different, and you haven't won a shard yet, and we know the Parshendi have shards, so like, why not we do this in a way where we try to do a force that is supposedly that you would normally retreat from, and then we can flank them, do all sorts of stuff, show up late, and possibly win a shard. And so it kind of starts to waver. He's like, yeah, and how about this? I'll give you the first blade.
Boom.
That'll be fine.
Boom. There it is.
And we'll split the Gem Heart. I don't
you get two, and you get 2/3 of the Gem Heart.
Yeah.
I'll just take 1/3.
1/3.
Right. Now,
you get the first plate. I'll take the first plate for my son. We're good. And he's like, and Teddy's like, you know what? This is actually kind of a good deal.
You look like bait. You put your people out there like bait, but all you gotta do is just hold it down until we get there. And we're gonna get there, and we're gonna like slaughter them. He's like,
slaughter them.
My army's big. My army's large. We can do some things. Just all you gotta do is just get out there with your speed and your quickness, and we will come right behind you, and we will like wipe the map.
Yep.
It's brilliant. I mean, at the end of the day.
Downer's smart.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tactics wise, it's not a bad strategy, but it's something that, and Downer's doing it obviously to unite them. I mean, he's tried with the other princedoms, and none of them want to work together because it's all a bunch of Me Too's. And I mean, that's it, me too. It's very much, it reminds me a lot of like, and this is going to be really, really specific to where we live. Like, we live in a metropolitan area called Hampton Roads. It's in Virginia. It's the largest metropolitan area in the entire country without a major league sports team. Part of the reason is because none of the cities, the seven cities, want to work together at all. It is a bunch of like, I want my stuff to be the best, so I am not going to help out any other people because I want. And then it's So what ends up happening is they all compete against each other versus working together, where they probably could.
Even
do
though
much
we're
stuff.
all abutted up against each other, we're like literally
and
share.
everyone works within each other, and I mean it's just
We
insane.
travel
And-
with each other. Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense. But like, it's one of those things where, like, Virginia Beach builds a town center, then Newport News builds a town center, then Williamsburg builds a town center, Hampton builds a town. Everybody has to build it because we all have to have our own town center now. And like,
Yep.
but then everyone has a dilapidated town center because now there's too many town centers and no one wants
They're all
to go.
competing.
They're all
Right.
competing, and it's like, you
And
guys
then
could
Norfolk's
work
like, I'm gonna
better
build a
at
light
this.
rail, and then they build it to like right to the edge of Virginia Beach. And Virginia Beach is like,
it's like, we don't want you people
was like-
coming to our city.
they were like, it wasn't our idea. Nope, don't want
So
to
now it's a
participate.
light rail that goes nowhere.
Okay, great. That's the reason why the traffic here sucks.
Sucks, yeah, because now it doesn't go
Yeah.
anywhere, and so
Yeah.
like it reminds me a lot of how our cities that we live in operate, where they won't work together for anything, and it's
Right.
like, but we are an economic region, and everybody relies on everyone, but
Yep.
then they don't want to do any projects together at all. It's like, no, we're
But-
better than you.
But that's the reason why Dalinar's his push to try to get these guys aligned was never going to work, is because he didn't sell it in a way
Sure,
that showed them how they were going to individually benefit from this thing. He was like, I'm
Right.
trying to call to your sense of altruism. And they're like, oh, what's that? They don't want to hear that noise. They don't want to hear that noise. They're like, what's in it for me? And until you can tell them, that's how you got to sell things sometimes. Again, having worked in politics, I know you got to sell it and be like, hey, if you do this thing, I promise you, you'll get this, you'll get this, you'll get this, you'll get this. But you can't go in there and be like, it's for the greater good. You're like, the greater good, my ass. Like, no. It's like, you got to show me how I personally will benefit from this relationship.
Yeah.
Peace, equality, understanding, none of those things are good enough.
Mm-mm. Nah.
People suck.
no.
People, yeah, they do suck.
But I did have like a question. So when that was another thing that the guy keeps saying, unite them. Do you think he does mean the Alethi, or do you think he means something else? Because he just says unite them.
Okay, so I have
And Dalinar's
always
like,
felt like
Alethi?
the unite them was not just the Alethi. I feel like it was like everybody.
Everybody,
The
everybody in the whole wide
Parshindir,
world.
everybody. I feel like it's unite them because it's kind of like one of those sci-fi movies where people are infighting and stuff, and then an alien horde comes down, and it's like, oh, we
were
should have
supposed to
stopped
unite.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We
that
were
was kinda
supposed
my
to unite the
impression, too.
planet because this thing is going to come up and kill us. Look,
Everybody.
What? You know, I do it for a reason, people. Everybody.
everybody.
But yeah, I mean, again, we still don't know what a void bringer is. We do not know what a void bringer is.
True.
They're sitting here doing the squabbles here, and this thing might be coming to me, whatever void bringers are, and be like, we gonna snuff the sun. Yoink.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what kind of power
Yeah.
there is, and I feel like that's the type of unity that this voice is
Yeah.
calling for, but they're
Yeah.
nowhere near.
That's what I was
Because
thinking
right
too.
now, oh, you're thinking
I
the
was
same
like,
thing?
it's not just the Alethi. Like,
Oh
that-
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Alethi are
Too small.
kind of, they're not united, but they're close enough allegiances that they're like,
Right.
it's a
They're like-
trepidatious,
They're
Yeah.
like Greek city states, like from the
Right.
ancient Greek times.
perfect
where it's,
example.
yeah,
City states.
Yep.
Yep.
Where they fight amongst each other, but when the Persians came, they all were like, "All right, let's get together. We're all on the same team. Fight the Persians." Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Sounds like a name of Alan's stand-up routine. What's that? Everybody.
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 Is that what you're saying, Ian? I don't know what he says. Anyway.
By the way, yo, Ian.
Yeah. So they sketches out the preliminary idea, and Saudi agrees that they'll. Oh, Voidbringer. Yeah, there you go. Voidbringer is my stand-up routine.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh.
That checks
That's like,
out.
you have
Now
a
that
stand-up
does
routine?
check out. Yeah.
I want to hear your stand-up routine now, Alan.
My
I know he's
stand-up
got
routine?
type 5.
I don't
We're
have
probably
one.
just going to talk about metaphysics and
Yeah, probably.
It's some historical stuff. Obviously, you got to go back to some history,
Obviously.
man.
funny
on.
boat facts.
It's gonna be
Alan.
me
Funny
and
boat
it's gonna be
facts.
Alan up on stage and me and Ian and the audience laughing our asses off. That'll work.
There are some strange historical facts that are fun, like the dancing plague. Did I talk about that one on this one?
Yes, you
Dancing plague?
did.
That
Yeah,
did,
yeah, we
I
talked
thought
about
I
the
did,
dancing
yeah.
play. Yeah.
That's my
You like
favorite
cut
ones.
out for me for just a second. You guys are still doing the thing where it's like one will go black and then the other one goes black, and I
Oh,
sometimes
really?
miss words.
Oh,
It's weird. It just keeps happening
Huh.
ever since like my StreamYard updated.
Ooh.
oh
StreamYard's
wow.
being,
Oof.
StreamYard's being StreamYardy.
Yeah.
We were
So I
talking
missed
about
it.
dancing plagues, though, and we
Dancing
talked about a
plague.
dancing plagues. I think about
Yeah.
maybe 3 weeks ago. We talked about dancing
Yeah, we
plagues.
talked
Oh
about
yes,
that.
we did.
Yeah, we talked
Mhm.
about the dancing plague. So there's lots of weird history stuff like that, but yeah.
Lots
Um,
of interesting history stuff.
Lots.
Why is the poop deck called a poop deck?
Do you know the answer?
No,
Or do you- oh.
Oh,
I was wait-
I'm just like poop is a funny word, I guess.
oh, okay. I thought you. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so the poop deck, it's where the functional part of the ship. So it's like, but I have no idea where the actual like why they call it the poop deck. That's here, I'm gonna look it up. Oh, it
Ian
comes
says it
from
involves poop, which I
I
believe.
No,
thought
it
I know
doesn't.
it's not poop like the word you're thinking poop.
it
If
comes
I
from
remember
French.
correctly. Yeah,
which is
it's-
la poop, which is pronounced the same as English poop, and the word stems from Latin that derives. Hold on, let me see.
I was
what-
like French poop.
It's
or
a French
fish is
word.
Poisson.
yeah, poop is French, la poop, so it comes from French, and if it's ever loads, but I think it's
But
just
French
like
for what?
functionality.
yeah. I don't think, but it doesn't mean the same thing. Is what I was.
Oh, it means the back of the ship.
Back of the ship. There you go. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that. So it's like the poop is like the rear.
The rear deck, like
Right.
where like usually you're
Right.
driving and everything like that. And
Right. I couldn't remember exactly what it is,
raised
but
up.
I knew that word applies, but it wasn't an English word. It was from another
it's-
language.
It's yeah.
French. There you go. Thank you.
So it's fancy poop.
Fancy poop.
Oh, fancy poop.
It's la
Now the
poop.
question is:
Well-
is there a possibility that the English word "poop" came from the French word for rear?
That's interesting.
I know. Now that's something I did not know and look up, and I need to find out.
Well,
the answer to that.
so in German, in Germanic, P-O is butt. Po. So I don't know if that poop
Yeah, and we do have much more
P-O.
Germanic related.
Yeah.
More Germanic in nature.
Saxon influence. Saxons were Germans.
Yeah, so it's possible.
But yeah, because Pohaslik means butt ugly in German. Haslik is ugly. Pohaslik.
Haslick, yes, I remember.
Oh, so P-O is butt in German. But yeah, so I think maybe
Cool.
that's where poop comes from. English
Very
is a
good
mess.
stand up, Alan.
Yeah, string flame. Yeah, English is a mess.
Oh, English is
It's-
like
It was funny.
That's
I
why
was actually,
anybody that learns our language, I'm like always like super
Super
kudos to
impressed.
you. You get
What did they
super
say? It's three
kudos.
languages in a trench coat. English.
yeah, I get super geeky about languages too. Like that's another one of my metaphysics and languages are kind of like my super. There was someone talking the other day. Is like they were talking about how like couple therapy type things. Like when you get in fights, they fight in Old English, and I corrected them. I was like Old English or Middle English because. If you guys know Old English, that's impressive because like you
Old
understand a
English
word,
sounds
there's
nothing like
English.
like what we.
Yeah,
I mean,
nothing like what we speak at all.
I
Middle
would-
English,
I would
like how
think
have thou
Welsh-
thou, like
Welsh might be
Middle
closer.
English.
Is Welsh closer to Old English than
Old English, yes,
yeah, I feel
100%,
like-
a lot closer. to
Yeah,
Old
yeah,
English.
because it's got like a million consonants and like the words are like
yeah,
that long. You know?
Guadel, cough, which means death. Yeah, so like where
Yeah,
coffee comes
yeah,
from,
yeah.
cough, CROFF. Yeah, here lies cough. Yeah. Anyway,
That's depressing.
I don't know. I just know a few. I know a few Welsh words. It's
Everything I know about Welsh words comes from soccer. That's it.
Haraith. Haraith is another Welsh word that I love. I think Ian actually taught me that one. Yeah, Haraith, which is a Welsh word that can't translate directly in English, but it's kind of like a longing for something that can never be again. But it's
Huh.
not quite homesick. It's like something familiar that can never be again. It's Haraith.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It sounds like
pretty-
reminiscence.
kind of, but not quite the same. It doesn't directly translate to English. It's
Oh, that's like a lot of languages that have words like that. You like,
yeah, longing for a home that doesn't exist. That's what it is. A longing for a home that doesn't
Aw.
exist anymore.
oh wow, there you go.
Yeah.
And then of course you have words in like other
Right.
countries, and it's like I've always loved the word allura in Italian. It's a word that means everything but nothing. So it's like you know how we say you're like just talking. In Italian, it's like, you know, you just be like talking like allora, which basically means just like it's a pause. It's just like random pause. Allora. Yeah.
I
Why
love
not?
I love how it also like they have the tongue twisters in different languages. Like if you want to say green in French, it's verde.
Verde. Yeah.
And if you want to say warm, like
Oh
a
yeah.
squirrely worm, it's vez. If you want to
The
say
glass
towards, glass is
is
vez.
there.
It's ver. If you want to say towards, it's vez. So if you say the green worm goes towards the green glass, it's vez.
Now I gotta look that up because I bet you I could get us some Italian twist. I'm gonna look up some Italian tongue twisters now. I'm going to study some Italian tongue twisters.
That's all you do.
Got it.
Just
French is
say
almost
ver
as
over and over
messed up
again.
as
Like
English.
love languages. They're fun. Anyway, so
Yay.
for language.
Now we know what Alan's stand-up would be.
Yeah, it would just be
His
random language
type 5.
facts.
His type
Eventually
5,
gets
we've
a
already
little
figured it out.
depressing, and then we talk about languages.
I just talk about depression. That's all. That's my entire stand-up.
Your,
is just-
your
That
type
happens to
5
the
is
best of us.
is basically you as like a Louis C.K. stand-up, basically just talking about depression.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just good times. Yeah, only because context can language work. Yeah, well, true. Yeah, and that's why also the Oxford comma is important in grammar because it is important. Because no, I did not do that to your dog.
I hate the fact that they've like over the years have tried to like deprecate the use of the comma in so many different ways, and I'm like, please stop doing that.
It means something different.
Exactly. Thank you.
If you don't use a comma, it means something different.
Yep. Like the whole thing
They're
where they like
important.
now they don't put a comma between the second and the third item or the last and they
the Oxford comma, yeah, and it's very.
and I'm like,
important.
don't do that. Come on, what's it? So the penultimate and final item in a list that you don't put a comma between it. I'm like, no,
you do.
Don't do
weird.
that.
Yeah,
It looks really weird every time I see it. I'm like,
yeah.
So then I use my big red marker. I write F on it. I send the paper back.
Yeah.
You fail. You get nothing.
Well, that's how we end this chapter, though. Is with status.
Good day, sir. I'm sorry.
Good day, sir. I said good day, sir.
I say good day, sir.
Anything else from this chapter?
No, I think we had all the revelations. Did we miss anything after the revelations and stuff? I mean,
Cosmere, Hoyd. Yeah.
Big stuff in that chapter.
it was like
It
good
was.
stuff. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. This is a good one. Then Emerald Brome. So our last bitchograph is a woman sits and scratches her eyes out. Daughters of Kings and Winds, the Vandal. Dated Palahaven, 1173, 73 seconds pre-death. Subject was a beggar of some renown, known for his elegant songs.
Ooh. When someone says a beggar of some renown, it kind of makes me think of how every town has like that one person that they're just like known for. Like I have this guy who drives around in like a mini car all the time, like one of those little like wheelchair cars. Everybody just knows him as like the mustache guy in the old car, but he's like
Wait,
also
drives one of those what cars? We said wheelchair?
It's like, you know how you have like the electric scooters? It's almost like a car that goes over top of the like the electric scooter. Like it's
oh,
that
a
size.
smart
It's
car.
like a single person
Okay,
car.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the little smart car. It's just like just enough room for
so
two
like
people.
we have that dude that it was like, oh, it's just mustache dude in the little red car. Like we just have,
Oh, okay.
we just know who that is. So when someone says like a beggar of some renown, that's kind of what I think of. I don't think he is a beggar or anything. He's just like one of those people in the city that everybody knows when we see him.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
We had a guy like that in our neighborhood as a kid growing up, and I feel bad that we called because I didn't know his backstory, but he was like guy in his 50s that moved back in with his parents and because he had drug problems apparently, but he would come out and just start yelling at kids in the neighborhood like randomly because he was messed up. And we used to call him Boo Ratley from Kill Mockingbird because we read that as a kid, and it was Boo Ratley that lived across the neighborhood. It was Boo Ratley. But getting older now and realizing mental health issues, like I feel bad. But as a kid, like you don't know anything.
Just someone that you know, that's how you know them by. I mean, that's not
Yeah.
as much fun as the little old man that drives
It's
around.
not. It's a lot more sad actually, and depressing. But yeah,
By
yours
the
is a
way,
lot more fun.
this whole chapter, because it's called Emerald Brome, all I could think of was Cadillac Brome. which is the song that was referenced by Outkast and Elevators. Me and you, your mama and your cousin too, rolling down the strip on chrome, coming up, driving Cadillac Brougham. That little rider, yeah, they all pop to it. I was like, oh, Emerald Bro. Oh, there's something.
That's different, yeah.
I was like,
Not
oh, I was like Sanderson on that hood. And I was no, he's not.
No. This is just what we
No.
call it's just what we call the money here. Well, we start another bridge run. Kaladin's witnessing the bridge assaults on the plateau. So he's already laid down the bridges. They're watching Sadeas' army, and they're doing the normal thing where they kind of stand at attention and watch, and which is kind of some of the other soldiers don't like that they're doing this, but Kaladin does it every time now, and just kind of watches the tactics.
But he's doing it at parade rest.
And parade rest, yep.
And parade rest is like, for anybody that doesn't know what parade rest is, that is like the stand
hands behind your back,
like behind your back. It is not like a slouchy thing. It's like you're still kind of formal. You're standing up, feet are like shoulder width apart, and you're like, but you're erect and you're like looking. So it's a very noticeable stance. And so when people see you doing it, it's like, oh, this guy's got military in him. When you see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the soldiers that comments, they don't like it at all. So
which because it makes you look like it almost look like you're imitating a soldier.
Right.
If you're a bridge person and you're not part of the army, it looks like you might be like kind of insulting them or like imitating them. So I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he watches and sees, the Kholinar forces coming, and Kaladin, that's weird. Usually they turn back by now, if they didn't make.
Well, first he saw them over. He saw Thaddeus' group kind of almost getting like they were like getting close to maybe losing.
Right,
because they're a small force.
Yeah,
and
then the Kholinar force shows up, and it's like they're trying to join, and it's like, oh, interesting. This actually sounds pretty good. And of course, he also remarks how Dalinar on his shard plate just jumps over and joins the battle first, and he's like,
boom, yeah, him and his son, right in there.
That's so honorable. Like that they like they're light eyes. Never mind, they're not honorable. They're light eyes.
Yeah, for half a second, he's like, oh. Wish we were fighting for them. No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else that was saying, "I wish we were fighting for them." Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like they don't even use bridge crews, and he's like, "Well, how do they? Oh, those machines got it.
Yeah, slow machines, but
he's
hey,
really
slow
appreciating that.
But all the arrows go boing. They just like they can't do nothing to it, right? So
Yeah, the siege machines. I picture one of those, the big Roman towers they used to use to do wall invasions. That had the bridges that fold down.
Yeah, because it just falls into the wall, basically just decimates the wall. I think they had that in Lord of the Rings. Yeah,
they do. But those are real siege weapons that were used, especially in Roman times.
That was the best thing about Lord of the Rings is they actually gave you visualization for some machinery and stuff that you could never see on screen, and they did a great CGI representation of it. Yeah, because people think catapults, and I'm like, catapults, trebuchet is what you really want to use, because trebuchet's got a lot more force to it, and it goes a lot further.
Yeah,
catapult is like, it goes like straight up. But
so catapults were used more ancient times. Once trebuchets were, they pretty much replaced the catapults.
Oh, absolutely. You don't use a catapult then. Yeah.
There was a lot of that technology improved and things were replaced. I mean, crossbow didn't replace the bow completely just because of the reload time, but it was more powerful.
But that reload is something else until they got to the point where you could actually have that. It was like a wind up mechanism that actually pulled the right, and then it was like it started to come into like more vogue, I guess. But but before then, I mean, the action of pulling that thing back was like, because think about it, it's a smaller device, so to pull that thing back required like so much more force than like this wide bow with like a long string. So I mean, it was like incredibly hard to like reload the things.
Still, my favorite Roman tactic for siege was sapping, where they would have miners go and dig a tunnel underneath the wall, and then they put tons of wooden supports underneath the wall, and then light on a fire, and then the whole wall just collapse in itself.
Which is also almost referenced to in Lord of the Rings. They almost did the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, they watch the battle's over pretty fast once Dalinar's troops show up. So they're giving Chasm duty for the rest of the day.
Yay!
The same day, by the way.
Same day. Yep.
We appreciate your service getting us here early.
Mm-hmm.
Now go down into the trenches, literally.
Yep. And they head down, and one of the first things they find is a dead light-eyed officer that has an emerald brow, which is worth about 200 days of bridgeman pay. So this is a small fortune they got here, and it gets them thinking. They're like, how can we keep some of this? They're gonna check. They do a full cavity search. They come out.
He was like, so what we do is we eat them. They're like, there's a reason why they check your stool. And he's like,
Moash, this is why you're not in charge.
Yeah,
cavity searches.
No, the jail pocket's not going to work. Nope.
Prison purse.
Prison purse, yeah.
Prison purse, yes.
Prison purses don't work. Yep. So they need to come up with another idea. And then they do they find the Parshendi first or before they find the bow? I think because they had the whole interaction.
Come later.
Yeah,
okay. They were looking specifically for Parshendi to find a bow.
To find a bow, right?
Yeah, and Syl found a few of them.
A few of them, right? When they go try to remove it, that's when Shin gets upset.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
He doesn't want them touching his kin.
Touch the dead. Well, they don't care about him in any other way, but just when they're dead.
Yeah, don't desecrate their bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really, really picky about that, which we don't know anything about Parshendi culture, but obviously that's something they're like, yeah. And one of the other guys says something about it too. They're like, yeah, back when we had some at the manor I used to work at or whatever, that's the only time they'd ever become angry was when someone tried to mess with one of the bodies or try to move it. Even trying to move it respectfully. They're like, no, don't touch it.
Yeah,
they need to do it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which that's, I mean, that's a big part of a lot of cultures. Don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fortunately, the handling of dead bodies is one of the reasons why Ebola is still around. It's like, yeah, I understand the rituals and stuff, but
yeah,
sometimes.
I mean, so when I was in Indonesia, like, this is a funny story. So I was in Indonesia and we were at like we were in Bali. And we went to Ubud, which is like the culture center. And we went to like the main, like, I guess like city, like board where they have like all the events going on for the day. And like one of the big things advertised is like, go see the cremation. And I was like, cremation? Like, what does that mean? Like thinking like, is it like a funeral or whatever? It's like, well, apparently one of the priests, a Hindu priest died and they were going to parade him through the city in a paper mache cow. And then literally it's like flame torches, like flamethrowers, like just light the cow on fire. And the body falls out the bottom and they just sit there and start just burning the crap out of it in front of a whole crowd. Everybody's cheering. I'm like, this is awkward.
That's morbid.
It sounds like a barbecue.
Morbid. Yeah. Wasn't expecting that. I didn't know what I was going to expect, but it was like a big event because it's culture.
I would not want to smell a human body and then find myself salivating. I would just automatically just be like, "Oh no!"
Luckily, I couldn't smell it, but I could definitely see it. It was right there, right in front of me.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's
and I was
odd.
like, didn't know that's what I was signing up for, but yeah,
surprise.
Other cultures.
This is what happens when you say yes to everything, Alan. Learn to say no.
They said there's going to be a parade. I brought my rainbow flag. I thought it was going to be a lot different.
You stood at parade rest the whole time.
You have a rainbow flag?
No, I'm joking.
Like, that's a whole different kind of parade, my friend.
That's a whole different parade. I got really excited.
You did.
No, it was. We were very respectful during it. Obviously, respecting the culture, but it was definitely eye-opening and shocking to someone from America.
Yeah, witness something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So, that's a thing.
It's a thing that you have now experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the Sacred Monkey Forest. That's where it happened. That's literally the place is called the Sacred Monkey Forest.
Secret Monkey Forest.
The sacred monkey.
Sacred monkey.
And those monkeys are crazy, and they will steal anything from you. So,
Do they have
if you're-
preferences of what they want to steal? Like, do they
Yeah,
like shiny things, or they just, like,
sunglasses. They love
food?
sunglasses. Yeah, sunglasses. They love and hats. They love stealing hats and sunglasses. So you have to be careful because they'll just come up behind you, jump on your shoulder, and take your glasses and run. It's like crazy monkeys. Them crazy monkeys. Anyway,
Damn stinking apes.
And that's why I work on my
Trans-
monkey catching abilities, just so I can catch a monkey.
Just catch it by the throat. Body slam
Yeah.
them.
Every so often I rent a monkey and I'm just out here in my backyard. That's all I do is I just chase a monkey down. That's how I get my cardio on Thursdays. I just monkey chase.
Monkey wrestling.
I'm just picturing now Alana
I'm
going to
wrestle
the room
him
and having,
because if
like,
I was to do
Family
that,
Guy
I'd-
monkey's closet. Just like I just picturing.
Nah, I just go out here and I just play tag monkey. I just go out just to the point where I can tag one and I'm like, I won.
I won.
That's all I do. End of game.
So,
You guys are-
anyways, so gets upset about moving the body, but they find a bow and arrow. But then they start trying to draw straws on who's going to shoot the bow because they had the idea.
And by the way, they're not going to keep the emerald brome.
No.
They're not going to keep it. And which I was like, that's the smartest play.
Yeah.
Because it either is going to sow discord amongst everybody,
Yeah.
or you're going to get caught and they're going to be like, you must have other stuff. So just turn it over.
But if you
Yeah.
turn into emerald brome, they're not going to suspect the other stuff you're stealing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Just let it go. And I get it, but the whole time this was happening, I was like, just let it go. Don't.
Yeah. Let it
Because
go.
how are you going to
Let
spend
go.
it? It's like
Yeah.
stealing
Yeah,
a
they can't spend it. It's just a shiny thing that stays there. That's just going to be.
It's like stealing the
it's
Mona
just
Lisa.
gonna
Like,
cause-
what are you going to do with it?
I
now?
was going to
Like,
bring it up. And Alan, I know you and I have had this conversation before numerous times. These people that steal famous pieces of art, I'm like, that's the dumbest thing you can do.
what are you doing
You
with it?
cannot fence it. No one wants something that hot and that's that noticeable in their possession, which is the reason why there's all these pieces of art. Go and look at Wikipedia. There's so many pieces of art that have been reclaimed because they sat in freaking like storage or a garage or something like that for like decades because it's like, oh,
Couldn't
we
sell
got it. It's like a dog catching an ambulance. It's like, what are you going to do with it? I don't know. I just want to chase the
I
ambulance.
guess you
It's
could
like,
hold
no.
it for a ransom.
Holding it for ransom is basic. So, okay, so now what's the ransom is I'm going to destroy this priceless piece of art unless you pay me. I mean, I guess that's possible.
It could work in
but
some cases. Like,
I
someone
guess.
stole the Mona Lisa, for instance. Like,
Mona Lisa's been stolen like twice,
I
3
know.
times,
Yeah.
something like that.
it was just the first thing that I could think of. But yeah,
Probably because it's like it's stupidly small, by the way.
Yeah.
People don't
Yeah.
realize how small the Mona
It's
Lisa
a very
is.
small painting. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they made it pocket size, just you can
Yeah.
just walk out with like an iPad, basically.
very stealable.
It is stealable.
Yeah.
Now travel sized. That's basically what
Yeah.
they put on
But
the
they
back
go-
of the Mona Lisa. You know,
That's like
So-
the only thing I could think you could do. 'Cause you couldn't sell it to anybody, but you could potentially ransom it.
ransom it.
Yeah.
That's probably your best bet. So on this episode of the Thieves Den,
Yep.
that's our new podcast.
And they
by
come
the
with their
way,
whole
Thieves Den.
the Thieves Den.
Thieves Den.
So yeah,
Yep.
they come out with the whole idea that they need an archer, and they start trying to figure out who's going to be the one to shoot because it's not an easy shot what they're trying to do. I mean, they
Yeah.
have if they shoot the bottom or they can't reach it, that's not going to work. If they miss and go outside, any scout that sees a random arrow fly out of the chasm is just going to completely
Yeah.
Rock is throwing, he's throwing all the shade on all these plans. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna have just a arrow just go up in the middle." It's like, no, he's gonna see an arrow just like flying up in the
Yeah.
sky with a piece of rope attached to it. I mean, and he's right. And
Yeah.
he's also like, well, yeah, and if you put it in the middle of the friggin' like
You can't
bridge,
reach it.
what are you gonna do then? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
So they got to
So-
get it in the perfect little spot underneath this
No.
bridge so that they
And
can.
as they're going, finally Rock's just like, "Fine, I'll do it." And
I'll
there's
do
like,
it.
Eleanor played it like he was just like, oh well, I guess we're gonna have to shoot it ourselves. He's just like sitting there just playing him the whole time. It was so obvious, but Rock is like, fine, I'll do it. You know, and I was like,
It just
man,
nails the shot perfectly. And Cal listens. This doesn't mean I'll ever shoot people. I'll shoot this thing, but I'll not shoot people.
I won't shoot people, man. He got it like on the second. Well, the first,
Okay,
the first
Rock.
shot, it was like careening off the sides and stuff. So I guess he was just kind of just testing it.
Testing it, yeah.
testing the bow the first go around.
Yeah.
And he didn't want it, and I guess he was doing that on purpose to make sure it didn't actually go up over the bridge. So he was like, well, if I hit it and have it creep up the sides.
Also testing the weight with the pouch on. I mean, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to kind of feel like how far is this thing going to fly?
Yeah.
Right. How quickly,
Yeah.
etc. Because every bow's got its own tensile strength. Yada, yada,
Yeah.
yada. So,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Rock has one more step to become a warrior. Yeah, DK Moon's right. Rock's almost there. They're slowly working him towards a warrior.
Yeah.
Do you think Rock's gonna fight?
It's going to take.
Ersiglona does.
I'm gonna put my theory time out there. Theory time. Okay, so Rock is getting really attached to these guys, and I think even though he's got his own cultural heritage that he believes in and credos, etc., the community that he's built with these guys is pretty intense. And I feel like at some point in time, something's going to happen where these guys are going to get decimated, possibly during the escape attempt. And I think he's going to go off. And I think he's going to be like, Roar! And he's just going to he's just going to go like ape mode, beast mode, berserker mode, Wolverine adamantium mode, berserker rage. I don't know, but I feel like that's going to be the thing that's going to set him off. And he's going to be like, I just can't no more. I cannot repress these feelings anymore.
That makes sense.
That's
and then he's going to live forever.
And he's going to live forever and go home and have like a million babies.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
of
what he's going to do.
Horn eaters.
Yep. A bunch of horn eaters. Yep. Just feeding them like a big trough of stew every night.
Yes.
They all shave together.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree. That's probably the only way that he will fight is if he's really backed into a corner like that and has to defend his buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they only put like 5 bromes? No, not bromes. 5 spheres in the bag. I'm like, wait, 5 spheres. Spheres.
Well, they found some more in another pouch.
Yeah, but he said he's only going to do 5.
Right, that's right. Because they're just
Are they going
doing
to put
like
multiple arrows?
Well, they just need to do one because they didn't know how much weight would actually be acceptable to put on the end of an arrow.
Yeah, where it still holds.
If you put too much weight on it, and it might even. I mean, think about it. You shoot it up,
but it doesn't seem very efficient. Like I think they need to think of something better.
That's true. I'm not a fan of this whole setup, to be dead honest with you, because, and this is where my issue is. So you tied the bag on rope to the arrow and you shot it up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what happens? Because it had to be close enough that you can reach around underneath the bridge and get it, right?
Right.
When there's wind, isn't somebody going to see this bag swaying underneath the bridge?
I guess it depends on how close you tied it to the actual shaft itself.
I guess I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, the bag is going to swing.
Yeah. I also
guess how long are you going to leave it down there too?
Nobody
right, because I mean, you got to go pick it up. You got to pick it up on next bridge run, and don't let there be a storm in between it, because that's not holding up during a storm.
Yeah, and how are they going to pick it up nonchalantly, right? Like, okay, so for it to be in a place where they can't see it, like walking by, it has to be in pretty decent. But if you're gonna reach it, you have max maybe this far into it, but you have to get down on the ground, get your arm under that bridge.
But they usually come last. So usually the bridge crews are not like the front of the convoy going back. They're talking about when they're on their way back to camp. So not going out, because obviously when they're going out, they're carrying bridges and stuff.
So when they're coming back, someone's still going to see someone lying down on the ground to pull out a thing. That's really not.
Oh no, they don't care. That's the reason why they're able to take care of the injured and stuff at the end of these battles and stuff, because nobody cares. They're already gone.
They're out drinking and going to whorehouses.
They're gone, and they're like, we don't care. What about the
other bridge crews though? What if they notice what is going on?
Right now, there's an issue. It's what if Gaz is kind of hanging around?
Yeah, Gaz.
Stitches. That's what that is.
Yeah. Someone's gonna notice somebody belly down on one of these bridges, reaching around underneath. I'm like, what's that about?
I know. What are you doing? He's like, I'm humping the bridge.
right? Because it has to be that. You can't just like bend down and do that because then it's just
Oh no,
like,
you got to get down
risky
low
under
to be able to
there.
reach all the way around. I mean, I'm sure this bridge isn't like paper thin, which means it's got some girth to it. You
Yeah,
got to
exactly.
reach way.
And if it's like
underneath
just a
and
thing that you
around.
can just bend down and grab it, like someone's gonna see that arrow. So I don't know. I
I
call
know.
bullshit
I
on
do
this
want to hear
system.
more about this bridge reach around.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll find out in a future episode. We don't find out tonight.
Mm.
Yeah.
Next
So-
time, evildoers.
Yeah. This book isn't known for its best plans. No, there's a lot of bad plans in this book.
Yeah, there's
You are
some
right.
holes in this one.
Yeah,
And
we've
not just
we've
from the
already
arrow.
poked some holes in these books.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this book. Yeah, especially this book. I mean, there's some. I've said it. There's been some inconsistent writing. I'm not trying to say I could do it better. I'm just saying there's some things
Yeah.
I've noticed that are inconsistent.
I also couldn't think of a better plan at this point. I'm like, it seems like a pretty
Oh.
good plan. I couldn't think of
Because
anything better.
He said the arrow thing, and I was like, oh, he's going to shoot the arrow out of the chasm in some random place over here that no one's at.
Yeah.
And then, because I just assumed, like, well, what if the officer's standing at the top of the ladder? He goes to the top of the ladder, he gets checked. And then, because nobody cared that he runs to the edge of the chasm to commit suicide. Nobody cares, right?
It's
So
true.
I was like, well, he just shoot it out of the chasm in some random place and then just go later and go pick up the bag. That's what I thought he was going to do. But then he was like, no, we're going to shoot it under the bridge. I was like,
yeah.
okay, that's a thing.
I guess we'll see what happens.
I guess we will.
See what happens.
Mhm.
So, anything else from this chapter before we do favorite character?
No.
Oh, I was gonna mention before that we never circle back. The first chapter it was when we said he got hit in the cheek with the arrow, and we're
Mhm.
like, maybe he did because he's like, my cheek is better.
And
He's
then
like,
my
"Ah,
cheek
shit."
is.
He's
ooh,
like,
my
something
cheek is-
weird's going on.
My
It took
cheek
him like
is silky smooth.
Yeah.
it only took him like
Mm.
3 months to figure out. You know what? Maybe something weird is
It's
going
going
on. Not
on.
the surviving the high storm, not the
Yeah.
millions of spears that just keep going dim. Like the
He's
cheek.
he's not a brilliant individual.
No, he is, but he's
He's good at what he
No.
does, but he's not a brilliant
Yeah.
individual.
Look, when it comes to healing, it's smart. He's just not very self-aware. Let's just
he's
say
he's,
that.
he's just out there doing his best. That's
Yeah, when
just-
it comes to other people, running other people's moods and
Mhm.
how their bodies work
oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
awareness
He's very
and all
smart.
that. Yeah, yeah,
Self-awareness.
yeah.
No, he ain't got it.
No, you're so true, Tree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. He's like, oh, that's odd. I'm not putting
Hmm.
together what's going on with these shards and me and them going dim. Why do they go dim so quickly?
Why do I have a random spren following me around? How
Why
did
do I
I
have-
survive that high storm? None of that.
By the way, I
Literally
kept-
the scratch on his cheek.
And that was
It's
the other thing I
just
thought
a-
was going to happen. Now we have now learned that this spren has the ability to interact with things. It's
Mhm.
already been established. I
Yeah.
thought he was going to say, "Oh," because he's like, "Oh, she stood on the side of the chasm, just like whatever." And I was like, "Oh, so they're going to give them to her one at a time." And little
That would
Tinkerbell
be
Spren is
smart.
gonna, and Tinkerbell Spren is going to fly them out, put them in a pile,
Yeah,
hide them for them.
you could
And I was
literally
like,
hide them.
Well, there you
Oh,
go.
that's so smart, Alondo.
That's what I thought was going to happen, and then nothing. She's mentioned. She got a brief mention, blink, and she's
Someone
and
needs
never
to write
mentioned
to
again.
Brandon
And I was
Sanderson.
like, but she can interact with things now. She's like out there like knocking
Yeah.
heads and like messing with people, and I was like, she can carry.
I don't know if she can carry though full chips. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, she had a hard time carrying just the leaf.
But she
Last
could
year
try.
probably was a lot
But see, but her ability to do more interaction in the world has gotten more and more
Sure.
effective as time has gone on.
Sure.
We don't know
yes.
what she can do now. And then, hey, give it to her, let her work up her little sprint muscles.
Yeah,
we can't wait for 20 chapters for her to level up more though. That's the thing.
Hey,
She
no,
might
I
not be
wanna
there.
see
She
it.
might-
I'm-
yeah.
Look, I need to
That's-
see a
She hasn't
I
got
need
enough
to
skill
s-
points to get that stamina up. She has to get that stamina and weight carrying check.
I need to see a Rocky montage of her working out like she's getting ready to go up against Drago. She needs to be like,
Eye of the tiger.
she gets faster and faster and
True.
faster. And then at the end, she's like, oh,
yeah.
the whole thing.
Super
I need to
still.
see that.
Super
Come on,
Saiyan
yeah.
Sil.
Super. Oh, I want to see that. Oh, and then she starts glowing, and then just fire comes behind her.
Yeah.
Well, no,
But-
she is a Sprintamon, so she hasn't evolved yet to the next form. And
Oh, she needs to
then-
evolve. But you know how
yeah.
you know how you get a sprint to evolve? You got to work them through a training montage.
It's true.
Yeah.
You gotta
I mean, come
catch
on,
them
it's-
to carry
yeah.
the little baby.
This is basic
Sprint 'em
80s
on.
knowledge, people. Basic 80s knowledge, all right? Come on. If you've seen an
Gotta catch
80s
'em
movie,
all.
you know how it works.
Not true.
Montage. Come on.
We just need
Yeah.
like a 20-minute montage, and then she'll be good to go.
I mean, literally, every time I sing the song, it's time for a montage. Someone levels up in my neighborhood.
Yeah. There you go.
Literally, like I think I just saw this guy like bench press the back of his car just now.
Oh,
Just-
nice.
I just sang it. Guy bench pressing his car in the rain right now. Just happened
Yeah.
Yep. every time.
Fine.
That's why I'm careful with it. I can't just sing it all the time because
I
You know,
would.
can't
I
have
want
a-
everyone to level up.
you want everyone to level
Yeah.
up. Just time for a montage. And just somebody's like, just like out, just like pulling like all the stumps out of their yard.
Yeah. Everybody gets superpowers. It's fun.
There you go.
Logan's working his one arm like really, really hard with a dumbbell.
Yeah. I do imagine Lopin's
Oh, like the
one
guy
arm
in the
being
my
super
Shyamalan movie, Lady in the Water. The guy's got
Yeah.
one arm that's super
Arm.
strong, and the other
Yeah.
guy's kind of. He was like, that was like a whole experiment. I want to work
Grab
out
my
with one
strong
arm.
hand.
Yeah.
Take my
Lopin's
strong
arm
hand.
is super muscular in my head canon. Just
So
like
who?
huge.
Who's super strong?
Lopin's one arm is like super
Yeah.
strong. It's like half the
Lupin.
size of his torso
Lopin.
in my head.
Got it. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
It checks out.
like the size of
Alright.
his leg. That's what I picture.
Oh yeah, tree stumps.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Stumps.
Yeah.
Definitely. So favorite character besides Lopin's arm.
All right, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You go first. I didn't
Alright,
really think
Sigzil.
about it. Sigzil, good one.
Yeah, Six Hill. I mean, told the stories, singing the songs. When he's like reluctant, he was like, "Oh, I should tell everybody that I know how to sing songs and tell stories." And then he was like, he got into sing songs
got
and tell
real
story mode.
into
And he
it.
was like, he got into it. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I forgot about the whole Sig Cell thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still trying to imagine what I think he looks like based on the description of like his skin and everything. So I feel like he's a really interesting looking character. And I was like,
Mhm.
again, if I could get on like
Yeah.
something after the book is done, like
Oh,
Deviant Art kind of thing, I would
Yeah,
love
like
to
all
be
we
able
know
to.
right now is he's dark skinned.
Yeah, dark skin, and it sounds like he's got like lighter hair. And
He's
I
dark
can't remember the color of his eyes. It's escaping me right now.
Oh, there's some
Uh,
cartoon stuff on here, but it's not.
I'm
really that
sure,
great.
but I'm curious to see what the
Other people have interpreted.
Yeah, how they've interpreted Six Cell.
Here-
But
here's
anyway,
here's Six Cell. Here you go. There you go. Boom.
Oh.
I thought he had lighter hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, every picture of him's kind of.
Careful, Alan.
I know. I'm stop.
Yeah, it's right. Because it could be spoilers. That's right. Yeah, I'm glad you said something. Tree, I was not gonna. I didn't even think about that till you said careful, and I was like, "Yep, just be careful." Because
I know I saw something. I was like,
oh no,
A picture of a young Don Cheadle.
Okay.
There you go.
It
I
was
thought
a
he had
spoiler for
lighter
me,
hair. Am I
so don't
am I
worry.
misremembering this? I thought he had
I don't know.
lighter
There's-
colored hair.
I didn't think there was very much description about him yet. But he
Okay.
definitely reminded me a lot more of Sazed in this chapter.
Yeah, definitely some Sazed vibes. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I will buy into that all day long. Yep.
I
No,
didn't
so
think about
Sigzil is clean shaven, dark brown skin, and thick curly black hair.
It does black hair. Okay, then who am I thinking of that
Somebody
has
else,
darker
maybe?
skin and has light colored hair? So I'm obviously conflating two people, and I just don't know who the other person is. So no worries.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, don't be
All right,
sorry.
who's my favorite character? Who's my favorite character?
Super
um,
Saiyan Cell.
Sazed is what you said.
I said Super Saiyan Cell.
Super Saiyan Cell, but she wasn't in it a lot.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
I'm just gonna pick Rock because I love him. And
Rock's
he's
good
like,
people.
"Give me that bow and arrow, you airsuit lowlanders. Let me do this." Does it? He's like, "Easy peasy. Why are we even arguing?"
I loved how clumsy that draw to get him to do it was. They were like, it was almost like they would be like clumsy, like, oh well, how does this bow thing work? I
Yeah.
hope I can do the thing.
He's like, "You pull
I hope
straight
I can
back,
do the
you
thing."
let go, boom."
And then Oh, if only there was some strong man that could come help me. If only. If only.
Give me
Did
both.
you hear me? I said if only.
Yeah, I
He
always
finally
pick
comes
Rock.
over. He's like, okay, I will help.
Yeah.
Drahe has light hair.
Drakey,
but he's not-
Drakey.
Drahe. He's one of the bridgemen.
Drakey.
He's been mentioned.
Okay, so I'm conflating two people from the bridge crew. Then
I still
obviously.
don't have all their names down.
Yeah, I was doing pretty good, but then we kept going to chapters where it's like they would only mention like 2 or 3, and I started forgetting them.
Yeah.
So
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I'm always gonna pick Rock. Apparently, it's like the 18th
Okay.
time I've done that. But I just love him so much.
no, it hasn't. No, you haven't picked him that much.
No, okay. I always want
I would say if you're at 3 times, I'd be shocked. I feel like maybe this is your second time choosing Rock.
to.
Not the second time you've talked about him, how much you like
No.
him, but I don't feel like you've picked Rock that many times.
That's fair.
I'll pick
Well, he's
Donnie.
always my
I'll pick
favorite in
Donnie.
my heart.
I'm
You
picking
pick who?
Donnie.
You picking Dunny Boy? I was really that
Dunny.
close to picking Dunny Boy,
Yeah.
but I like seeing a different. I like seeing Sixel being like challenged and being like
I just
reluctant.
I picked
I just
Dunny
picked him
last
because
week.
DK said no.
I picked
yeah,
Dunny
but
last
you
week.
know, and by the way, really deflating that he did not even in death. He barely got any screen time
I know.
at all. Which I feel like it was really a shame.
I was expecting
Yeah.
it to be like Kaladin went over there and he was like taking his last breaths while Kaladin tried to save him, and it was like one of those drifting away, like really emotional deaths. But he literally
Mhm.
just got
Yeah.
shot and then trampled by horses.
Yep.
Just done. We don't even know what they did with his body after.
Oh, you know what they did with his body? Nothing.
I know, but they didn't talk about it. They didn't try to do anything nice. Like, I don't know. It just
Mm-mm.
I didn't
Nothing's
like
gonna
it.
happen with his body.
It's
They
just not what I expected.
left to the buzzards.
Especially for a chapter
Um,
named Dunny, I really expected to be hit with that death a lot harder.
Yeah, actually, that was rough. I'm glad you said that because that was the first thing where you hear the chapter name is Dunny, and I was like, "Oh, Dunny," and I was like, "Man, he's gonna do something heroic." And then, like in 2 minutes, he's like
Dead.
dead,
Right.
and I was like, "Good God!"
I expected a
So-
whole backstory about him, and then at the end of the
That's what
chapter,
I-
maybe like
I thought it was gonna be a backstory. I thought we were gonna
Nope.
hear like all this. Nope, nothing.
None of that.
Cut short.
No.
Cut short. Poor guy.
he got ripped off.
Oh,
Our Dunny boy.
Yeah.
The pipes are calling.
Well, next week we'll be doing 2 chapters, just 2. Just
Oh, man, it must be long chapters then.
They are. So we're going to
Wow.
be doing chapter 56, That Storming Book, and chapter 57, Wander Sail. It's a good one.
Wander Sail?
Wander Sail.
Okay. I feel like somewhere or another I could work that into that song Wonderwall.
You're my wonder sail.
Because maybe. Anyways, yeah, so that's what we'll do next week. We'll do 2 chapters. It'll be fun.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, we're going to be on the 2 train for, I think, 2 weeks in a row because there's some long chapters coming up.
Okay.
And then we get a lot of chapters because we're racing towards the end of
Oh, that's right. Then the Sanderlanche. Yes. You told us that.
Then
That we were going to
we're getting right there towards the Sanderlanche because we finished this
Mhm.
book next month. Yeah, next month.
Yeah, you said next month. Yep.
Are you gonna
Yeah.
make us like stop right halfway through the Sanderlanche?
I mean, at the end of no, not for this one.
Ooh, okay.
This Sanderlanche is really just one giant chapter. It's 2 chapters.
Wait, what
but
do you
yeah,
mean,
they're-
Trey, when you said that question? What was that? I'm not sure I get the reference.
Like sometimes in some of his books, like they go on for a few chapters. Like it's just like a
Mhm.
really long,
Yeah.
epic build up of stuff.
build up.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't want to stop halfway through.
Oh, I mean, well, that happens a lot with Robert Jordan stuff. I mean,
know.
you have these like
But I
freaking
didn't have to read
avalanches
those
of
books
stuff.
like this. I was able to just
Oh,
read. I was just
okay.
able to binge them, right?
Okay, because
Well,
I mean,
Robert Jordan would do that where he'll like build something epic up and then it wouldn't go back to that character again until like 6 or 7 chapters later. So like
Yeah.
you're on a cliffhanger
I mean, like
anyway.
constantly. Sanderlanches are like constant action.
I feel like Jordan's some of his books would do the same thing though. He would just have like
Yeah.
just like this like deluge of like stuff
Yeah,
going on,
totally.
and I was like, Lord have
Oh, yeah.
mercy. I was like,
Yeah.
you were like jamming
Yeah.
a whole bunch of stuff in this like short chapters, and I would say, by the way, I'm saying short chapters. They weren't short chapters. You're just reading at a voracious rate because you're just trying to get through it. Because you're like, I just want to know what happens here. So you're just like reading it quicker
Yeah.
because you want to accelerate to find out what's going on. So
Yep.
that's
Anyway, so we'll do those two next week. And yeah, how you can be found is at thecosmereads.com. It's a website. It has links. Patreon, support us there. Yay. Buy some merch. Yay.
Yay.
Come on Discord, hang out with our apparently bots that invaded us today.
Oh yeah, we had
Yay.
sexy bots today.
We had sexy bots
Ooh,
today. I banned them.
Ooh, nice, sexy boss.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, what? By the way, it reminds me. You said Discord. It reminded me. Have we considered doing another live reading at some point in time?
Yeah, I want to for this. I was thinking about it towards the Sanderlanch. We could
Okay.
do Wander Sale, but it's not that. I was gonna wait till we get to towards.
Oh no, you didn't have to. Again, I'm not
Because
trying to coerce you into anything. I'm just wondering about something like that. I know
Yeah.
the last
There
time we
was
did
a
that,
chapter. There is a chapter I picked out for it.
Oh, okay, cool. Anyway, I just know we did. Didn't we do? Because we did that last
did it
time at
Uh-huh.
Jordan Con.
Oh, where we all got together and did live. Well,
Yeah.
we did a live
Was it-
reaction chapter to when we found out that about the Khandra. I think we did that one live.
That's
You
fun.
yeah.
But that was just our regular
Which
recording
ensued.
night.
No, we did a special for patron only, like the Tinsoon
Okay.
reveal.
But that wasn't the one we did at Jordan Con.
No, JordanCon we did it. In
We just did it.
like
We
the
just
end of-
recorded it there.
We
That's
just
right.
recorded an
We just all
episode.
happened to be in the same
We're all
place
in
at the same time.
Yeah, we just did
Got
this.
it. I remember now.
Yeah.
Okay. Good call.
Anyway, go do all those things. Click on the links, like everything, subscribe, all the algorithm stuff, or don't.
No, do.
It helps. the
No,
algorithm. No,
do
Or do.
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 do it.
it.
Do it.
Do it.
Mhm.
All right. That's pretty much it. That's all I got for this week. So see you guys next week.
Yep.
Maybe.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Okay, bye.
Thank you for watching the Cosmere Reads.
Gosh dang, gosh, stay fresh. Gosh dang, gosh, stay fresh.